So in my Discord, we were talking about anime backlogs, and one guy was saying how he deleted his because it got so stressful and out of hand that he just deleted it and started over. And I see the same sentiment carried on Reddit and Twitter, where people post the memes about their backlog, and it's just this guy with sweat rolling down his face. And I get it, the urgency to watch all these shows, but my backlog is always daunting to people, and it's not the craziest backlog I've seen, but it is 1,800 anime. That is 800 series and 1,000 movies, OVAs, and specials, and everything combined together. It probably sounds like total chaos, but there's actually a very good order to this, and I have spent a lot of time on these different plan to watch lists. And there's also, I have a list for the manga, and movies and shows and things that I want to watch, and I realize that I probably won't live long enough to finish all of this, but I'm not going to stop adding to it because there is a reason behind the chaos here, or there's a method to the madness, because what I do is sometimes I enjoy going through the databases because I'm just curious about what's out there in terms of movies and entertainment and things like that. And sometimes I just don't feel like watching something, I just feel like going through databases, and I don't really care to do it for the purpose of research. I just care for the purpose of building my plan to watch list so that I know about other things that I'm interested in. So there are some nights that I will just have and by the way, I did not build this over the span of a month or something. This is like years in the making. But I'll just stay up late, going through the databases, not even thinking about it, and next thing I know, I've went through 1,000 anime or something like that. But I will go through my plan to watch list. I started off at 1925, as early as you can go, and it is 100% accurate all the way up to 2010. So everything in between is 100% of the anime that came out that I feel any sort of level of interest in, whether that be, a 6 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10. Anything in between that range, I thought that I would feel that way about it. I added it to the list, and I feel this way for a lot of different reasons, whether it's looking at the scores of the reviews, sometimes it's reading a little bit of the reviews, reading the premise, but most of the time it is looking at who worked on it, like the director, the animation director, the original creator, things like that. So anything that I feel like I'm going to be moderately interested in or greater, I added to the list. And I did that from 1925 all the way to 2010. And the only reason I stopped at 2010 is because, one, they make a lot of anime starting past 2010, and two, I kind of got tired of doing it, and I just haven't progressed past that point since. I am still interested and still going to watch anime past that point. It's just the plan to watch list is a different project entirely. So whenever I add something to the plan to watch list, I will go there and I'll assign a priority to it based on how I feel about it. And whenever I want to go review something random, I can actually use a random number generator and sort by high priority. And so it's like number 50 out of the highest priority things or something like that, and I can just go pick it. So my mentality with this plan to watch list is that I've gone through everything, and eventually I'll get to the point where I have gone through every anime in history, and I know the ones that I like. And that may sound like a monumental waste of time, but when you span it over the course of a couple of years, it's not really that big of a deal. But the benefit to having such a crazy plan to watch list is that whenever you want to sit down and watch something, you know that you're going to be interested in it, because I'm basically giving recommendations to myself in the future, because all the research and looking into things that I did, I've already forgotten about all that, and all I remember is the cover and the name of it, and that's just how it is. So it's basically, I'm giving myself little gifts in the future, and in the future I unwrap it. So I never have to make popcorn and then sit down and then discover what to watch, because I've already got the list here. And Mal doesn't do a great job of allowing you to filter search results for your list, but other sites will. So I loaded up into the AniList, for example, and that allows me to search through type, movie, OVA, series, depending on how much time I have, search by genre, all these things, and year and whatnot. So the list is there, and I put in these search things, and the anime filters out through it, and I just pick one, you know? It's not that big of a deal. Pretty much anything that shows up there, of course I rank it with priority, but pretty much anything that shows up towards the top is what I want to watch for the moment. I try to stay away from going into anime, or really going into anything, with this preconceived idea of trying to scratch an itch. And I know that feeling very well, because I've seen a lot of anime, watched a lot of movies and things, and sometimes you just want a specific type of story because you know that it exists, because you've seen something else like it, but I feel like there's really no good outcome there. So the problem with getting into anime and just expecting a show to be like something else is that you put it in a situation where it's damned if it does, damned if it doesn't. Because if it's just like the thing that you're looking for, then it's good in certain areas because it's what you wanted, but at the same time, it can be a little predictable. So that's a flaw right there, and that's a complaint about that. So it's bad for those reasons. And then if it's not like what you're looking for, then you can explain why it's not what you're looking for, and then that's complaints about the anime, and then you are not having fun with it, and then your complaints go out online, and people will hear these complaints and say, well, that anime is predictable, or that anime isn't good for such and such reasons, when ultimately a lot of times people make good shows out to be like bad shows because they came into it with the wrong mentality to begin with. Whereas the anime itself is just this pre-packaged bundle of joy that the people created with the intention of somebody enjoying, but the barrier where the enjoyment stops is you with your preconceived notion of wanting something else. So in that case, I would just recommend rewatching something. So that's why I build my plan to watch list with pretty much everything. I'm not really a big fan of magical girl shows. I mean, I've seen a few of them. There's Princess Tutu and a couple others that I've seen that are pretty good, but I'm looking to get more into them. I'm looking to just get more into different types of anime, watch more different shoujo and different things like that, because it's good to a lot of people, and I want to enjoy it too, because you watch over 1,000 anime like I have, you really have to learn to like a lot of things. So I really say, maybe this is misunderstood by a lot of people, but really enjoying anime and staying with it for the long haul is a skill issue. So I think maybe the ideal is to have such a massive backlog like I have, though, you know, different strokes for different folks. But from my perspective, I would always get hung up, like if somebody wants to watch a movie with me or something, I would just be, before I built such a massive plan to watch list, I would sit there for like an hour trying to find something to watch, because I want them to enjoy the experience even more than I want to enjoy the experience, because I feel like as a person who recommends things to them, I have to have the good recommendations, considering, you know, what I do here on YouTube. But there's always that problem where I would go make some popcorn, I bring it back and sit down, and then I go on Netflix and I'm looking through, like, what genre do I feel like right now? Okay, of that genre, which ones are good? Of the ones that are good, which ones am I interested in? Of the ones I'm interested in, which one do I want to watch right now? With a plan to watch list and an open mind, there is nothing to think about. And I think the less you have to think about whatever it is you're trying to enjoy, the better it is, because overthinking it kind of ruins things, and it's better just to go with it and relax, or at least in my opinion. Oh, by the way, the suit, viewers were asking me to rock one for the video, so I went ahead and did that. It's not a regular thing, but I just thought, why the hell not? Anyways, have an awesome day, everybody.